RTD Live Talk, Detroit's #1 late night YouTube talk show. We are live for a Wednesday night live stream, and it will be a good one. I will let you guys know that up front. So, hope everyone's doing well. Sorry, running a little bit late, but of course, as you guys see the thumbnail, had to put together some artwork real quick to represent the leading topic of this evening. And once you put everything together, it's quite obvious as to why all of this attention now within the last couple hours, according to all the mainstream sources, in regards to the FTC and 48 attorney generals, basically the entire country appears to be after Facebook for a variety of reasons. But yet, one thing they will not tell you, which is the primary reason, of which is what we're going to talk about tonight, and it has to do with the dollar supremacy and the fact that looks like Mark Zuckerberg might have pissed off the wrong people by not playing along with their agenda. But we, could be something different, but we'll see. Anyway, welcome to the live stream. Hope everyone's doing well. As always, let me know in the chat who's there, and I would love to give you a shout out. Any new viewers, feel free to let me know where you're checking in from. And I actually have approximately, I probably got maybe 20 different articles, of which 6 or 7 is related to this topic here. So I'm going to try to get through this as fast as I can and as thorough as I can, and let you guys, absorb it, take it in, process it, and spit it back at me and let me know your thoughts on it. So let me dive right into it. Appreciate everybody for hanging out this Wednesday night. And also I want to make sure I remind everybody, for those that are tuning in, might be new to the channel, who knows, tomorrow night, get your weight up auction. Looking forward to having all you guys come out and actually, put your money where your mouth is and do some bidding and get your weight up a little bit. So figure it's a different way of shaking things up, put a little fun into all the stuff we're all experiencing and make it an enjoyable evening. So we got Solo, low blood pressure, Florida Princess. We got Daryl. We got John. Okay. What else? We got LM, S400 in the building. Appreciate you. We got JoJo, J. Let me see here. Jim Diggs, Barlight Broker, King D. Okay, Philman. All right, we got Daniel. Okay. All right, Joe. Good morning. Even love the show you did with Jose Martinez. Thank you for always remembering Venezuela. Daniel, my pleasure, man. Venezuela, as I've always mentioned before, beautiful country, just in some bad circumstances, but the Venezuelan people are resilient, so they're definitely going to bounce back, man. All right, it says, I think Mike fell in love with Cuba. Yeah, I did. Cuba was a hell of a place, so definitely wish I could go back, man, but I'm not sure how that'll play out. Anyway, okay, Natural Mom in the building. We got Ravinder. How you guys doing from Ravinder from Cali? Okay, all right, so primary subject tonight. Of course, this all transpired, or come across my radars in the last couple of hours, and it has to do with the whole Facebook, FTC, and a variety of reasons as to why they're looking to break up, as I saw one article mention, the monopoly that that Facebook has over media, or whatever you want to call it. And when you think about it and you put all that, try to put it all together, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because Facebook, up until this point, apparently has been more than cooperative towards the globalist agenda of censoring and trying to control the narrative. And so I know Mark Zuckerberg has donated funds to every cause to, that would lead one to believe that he's, already bought into the agenda, hook, line, and sink. But yet, why does it look like, for some reason, the powers that be are not too pleased with his entity, and they're looking to dismantle it a little bit? So I'm going to dive right in here and get your guys' thoughts on it. And we're going to have some fun with this one, because I think this is more of an indication of what they're trying to prevent, which is people putting their confidence and trust in something else other than the dollar as it is currently known and who issues it. And so it has a lot to do with the CBDC process ultimately, which is the reason why this is probably going down. So here we have an article here. It says 48 attorney generals. Let me zoom in a little bit. And so just the headlines itself gives you a good idea as to what's going on, how pissed off it looks like the powers that be might be. 48 attorney generals, FTC, sue Facebook, alleging illegal power grabs to neutralize rivals. Okay, so we're just coming off the most controversial presidential election in the history of this country that I'm aware of, and it's still ongoing. But yet Facebook was one of the primary sources that flagged everything for fraud. Every time you put something on Facebook, they flag it. So the algorithms have been programmed well to do what the globalists and these individuals just trying to control this build back better, one world government type of narrative. It couldn't get no better. But for some reason now, it looks like Facebook is on the hook because ultimately they tried to go ahead with the Libra project. And at the end of the day, by them basically not getting the full support of the United States government, they decided to go to a different country and rebrand it and repackage it and get a lot of players involved, trying to go behind the back or go around the United States government, which, of course, as we might witness here, is a no-no. And so it says illegal power grab. So once again, what exactly are they referring to? And so it says FTC and attorney generals from more than 40 states filed much anticipated lawsuits against Facebook on Wednesday. It says for nearly a decade, Facebook has used its dominance and monopoly power to crush small rivals and snuff out competition at the expense of everyday users, according to New York Attorney General Letitia James. I'm sorry. But here's the thing. Why now? And that's why this doesn't stick. Why now? Facebook has been a very good player in all of this. But all of a sudden now they are too big to fail or too big to control, more than likely. And what it boils down to is the fact that Facebook, their total reach, they reach, billions of people, and they have instant access already into the pockets or into the phones of every single subscriber they have, which equates to several billion, which puts them in a very favorable position to roll out whatever they want, even if it is something that derails or disrupts this current CBDC, which is a central bank controlled currency, which is ultimately what this is all about. They can go around that by creating their own. And that's why all of a sudden now, as this attorney general says, they're, too disruptive. They're, crushing all the small players. As it says here, they've been doing it for quite some time. So what's new? And on top of that, they pretty much helped them with the election agenda. And so here's something that's interesting. It says Wednesday's lawsuit takes a particular aim at Facebook Blockbuster acquisitions, photo sharing app Instagram for $1 billion in 2012 and messaging app for $19 billion in 2014. So here we have an 8-year-old deal done by Facebook in 2012 for $1 billion. And then we have a 6-year-old deal done in 2014 by purchasing WhatsApp for $19 billion. So basically by Facebook, it's almost a decade ago, literally almost a decade ago, where Facebook decided to get in the game and basically acquire all these other competitors, and the creators easily sold them with no problem. They got paid, they moved on, but all of a sudden now the government's not too happy with that. And so here's what we have. We have a situation where the government now is not too pleased on the surface with Facebook because of them, according to this, these lawsuits here, they're monopolizing the game. Okay, but the regulations and whatnot, and Section 230, which is another thing that, this could also be a distraction for that, because with the Section 230, that President Trump is talking about him not signing another bill until that's removed, or those powers that's granted to these type of entities here are revoked, then he's not signing any more deals. So this could also play into that as well. And then the third thing it could be as well is to create a lot of distractions, a lot of noise heading into the 2021 timeframe, which is when Facebook plans to roll out their new project or the rebranding of their new project. And so if you guys are interested in finding out more, you could just Google this, or, it's out there. But here is the actual lawsuit here from the FTC. And so the FTC officially filed this as of, I think it was today, if I'm not mistaken. And so this is the full-fledged, little package they put together. Well, basically the same thing, talking about, the money here and the fact that they just, too big to control now. And so since Facebook has outgrown the United States government and all world governments because of the position they have in everybody's pocket with their phones, we got some complaints now. And of course, here's the front man that I have here, who's kind of running the charge for the FTC. And this is Joseph Simmons. So once again, front man. And so on top of that, he was only put into this position in 2018. So he's literally just doing what he's being told to do, so like he ain't been on the job long enough to really, get the full scope of what's going on and how severe this is. And so, check this guy out, man. Like, just one of those things. And then, once again, I just talked about how Mark Zuckerberg bought Facebook or Instagram back in 2012. He bought WhatsApp back in 2014, as I mentioned. And so here's what brought all this to the light as of today, it looks like. And so this is an article from about a week ago from Forbes, and it says Facebook's Libra renamed to Diem, if I'm saying that correctly, prior to stablecoin launch. And so when this came out, I would imagine that's when the FTC and all the other, financial services committee individuals decided to get together and figure they're going to try to disrupt this and basically derail this rebranding of this Diem project from Facebook. And here's the question. What would make Facebook decide to rebrand at this point of the game when it was officially announced in 2019 as of last year that this whole Libra project was going to be rolled out? And then we're going to dive into that right now. And so it says Libra cryptocurrency. Libra cryptocurrency project changes name to Diem to distance itself from Facebook. So as a part of this rollout, the goal is to rebrand, create a whole new entity, and then ultimately get it licensed, the Diem Association, get it licensed in another country while Facebook tries to separate themselves from it. But ultimately, we all know that everybody in Facebook is still a part of this whole agenda. But yet, once again, this is not good enough because FTC and attorney generals are coming. Now we'll see what happens. This is probably will slow down or cause Facebook to have to make some tough decisions ultimately, or get in line with everything that's currently in play now, giving the Federal Reserve Bank and the Treasury time to roll out their plans or for a CBDC and then come out afterwards under the new stable currency coin, whatever is going to be given to the American people in the next year or two. They want Facebook, Libra, or Diem to come after that more than likely. And of course, be a lock and step. So here's a little rundown here, some things I highlighted that I think is worth noting. And so, of course, here, this is a Wikipedia version explaining exactly what this Diem digital currency is. And so start off real quick. It says Diem, formerly known as Libra, is a permissioned blockchain-based payment systems proposed by the American social media company Facebook. It says the project was formerly known as Libra, and the name was changed to Diem in December of 2020. So literally, within the last couple of days is when they announced to the public that they're rebranding and doing what they're doing. But it says Morgan Beller started the cryptocurrency and blockchain project back in 2017. It was officially announced in June 18th, 2019 under the name Libra. And so this is where it gets to some issues. It says in a meeting of top Senate Democratic leaders in 2019, Facebook chief Mark Zuckerberg told lawmakers that the Libra was not to be launched anywhere in the world without first obtaining approval from the, as it says here, United States regulators. So when he first positioned Libra, it was with the idea that he would get the blessings of the United States government or Uncle Sam to do this. But of course, we remember talking about this last year, how wasn't nobody happy with that. Everybody, Maxine Waters, all those people in the financial committee realm were not for it. And so they basically just stopped it right in its tracks. So what does Mark Zuckerberg do? Here we are. They decided to rebrand it. And so it says in December 2020, Libra was rebranded as Diem, and the Libra Association renamed to Diem Association. The new currency is projected to launch in January 2021. As of December 20, the Diem Association has 22 members. Scroll on a little bit more. It says Facebook established the Libra Association, later renamed Diem Association, to oversee the currency founded in Geneva, Switzerland. And so as of right now, the Diem Association will probably make their primary base or hub in Switzerland, and getting the banking licenses and all those type of licenses in Switzerland. Of course, we all know the U.S. and Switzerland over the last 10 years with, I think it was the FINRA, where they basically removed all the privacy privileges for U.S. citizens doing business in Switzerland. They exposed a lot of corruption in Switzerland, basically revealing all the people who use Switzerland, kind of removing that safe haven status, the label off of Switzerland in a sense. So am I surprised that Libra or Diem decides to go to Switzerland? Not at all. Okay, so get ready to wind this down before I get into some other articles here. It lists some of the players here. So last in 2019, all the officials consortium, including JP Morgan, Facebook, met with 26 central banks, including the Federal Reserve, Bank of England, and Basel, Switzerland. And the meeting was chaired by the European Central Bank board member, Benoit Corhel, whatever. And so once again, all of these central bank individuals know about it. They were in on the initial discussions, but for some reason, it looks like perhaps Mark Zuckerberg, by rebranding it, got out of pocket, and here they are trying to attack them. And ultimately, what this exposes is the fact that it says right here, the digital wallet. And so we've been talking about this for some time now with the Banking for All Act, how, of course, our politicians in this country have put forth legislation that says that the Federal Reserve will be the ones issuing a digital wallet directly to the consumers, or i.e. the public, and they themselves will go around the commercial banking sector with directly depositing funds into that digital wallet provided by the Federal Reserve or Treasury or whatever it might be, with access to ATMs or whatnot at your postal services. That's the part of the agenda that it looks like Facebook might have tried to overstep. So it says Facebook plans to release a digital wallet called Novi in 2020. And so that was a goal. I'm not sure if it came out or not, but it says to be made available in Messenger and WhatsApp, as well as a standalone app. So here you go. Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook are the three most powerful social media platforms on this planet at this current moment. They're in everybody's pocket for the most part around the globe. Europe, Africa, South America, Australia, everywhere, probably except China. And so if those three social media platforms are digital wallets utilizing, and it goes deeper in here into what they're planning on using, a stable basket of currencies with a dollar and several other things, i.e. resembling the SDR type of package there through Facebook, the Diem coin or whatever it's going to be called. It's going to be available through three different payment methods. And so imagine how that would completely derail any CBDC plans by any central bank if Facebook or Diem association are the primary issuers of the Diem coin or whatever it might be called. So now you can probably understand a lot better as to why they're putting the heat, or going to attempt to put the heat, on Facebook in the days ahead. And we'll see what type of outlook this, what type of thing comes from this. But as of now, I think this is a good thing overall for you and I, because with Facebook now possibly in a fight for their social media empire to keep all three of those entities together, because a part of the lawsuit is that they break them up and probably sell them off or whatever. Not sure if that'll disrupt things, but it slow things down tremendously. So with Facebook now looking like they're in a new fight for their, Diem project or whatnot, it could probably provide a little bit of leeway and opportunity for us, you and I, those individuals that communicate through those mechanisms, to be able to continue to share our anti-globalist agenda, anti-Great Reset agenda, by informing and waking people up and sharing information, and it not really being something that will get a lot of attention from the primary spotlight, because Facebook might have their hands tied to where they may not be putting their full attention on curtailing certain narratives that does not fly with this globalist agenda. So as we can see, people, we will be keeping an eye on this, but this is just what's happening in the news as of today. But when I saw Facebook, FTC, 48 attorney generals, I'm thinking like they're trying to throw the book at Facebook. I wonder why. Oh, it's quite obvious. The Diem project. So anyway, people, how's everybody doing, my friend? Appreciate everybody for hanging out with me and sharing and listen to me rant about that real quick. I wanted to try to get out as much as I could while I still could. Tony Block says, Novi is why China started the DCEP. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. And so what else? I see something about ice cream. What else we got here? It says Nate the lawyer says the Texas lawsuit is the worst lawsuit he's ever read. Really? Crypto King. That's interesting. I wonder why. Definitely I can check into that. And so if that is the case, as far as the lawsuit, which we talked about last night, could that be to slow down some things and just try to stall further for Giuliani and Powell to go through the court system still and to make their case and try to lay up as much of a foundation of evidence to then make it, without a shadow of a doubt that it has to go to the highest court of the land for them to then decide what they're going to do. And so, but yet when you got states trying to sue other states, we got, the government trying to sue social media companies, this is all ending. This is one big lawsuit party in a sense. Everybody tries to sue everybody, man. But it is what it is, man. Keep it moving right along. Low Blood Pressure says, where did they hit Facebook when they threw the book at them? They didn't throw the book at them yet. They just, it's going to be a paper game and a room full of attorneys. I mean, once again, Mark Zuckerberg, outside of his testimonies, him, him, Jack Dorsey at Twitter, and the Google CEO guy, the basically the three dictators of the social media realm. Basically, they appear before the committee of finance or whatever in hearing, but all the fighting goes through their attorneys and whatnot. So it's going to be a long drawn out battle possibly. But once again, it does nothing for us, for those that believe in getting their weight up, as well as for those that speculate in other digital stuff. So keep doing what you do, people. And all right, so let's keep it moving. So I got a couple of articles here. All of course, interesting things here. Nothing here is not boring to say the least. And so here is something that I came across, I think from Jeff Burrick's Twitter earlier, but it caught my attention because I didn't know anything about this until it popped up on the screen. And it says the Council for Inclusive Capitalism with the Vatican, a new alliance of global business leaders launches today. So this is as of today, if I'm not mistaken. And so I highlighted, or yesterday rather, but I highlighted a lot of things here to give you an idea as to how we got the Rothschilds and the Gates and, the Pope and everybody else that's, all the billionaire boy club individuals, Amazon's, Bezos, I'm sure they're all in there. All the world changers are a part of this council. And so give you an idea what's going on here with this. It's more of that narrative of let's heal the world. Let's all come together to heal the world while also restructuring and rewriting the rules to the game directly. And so here, give an idea, it says the Council for Inclusive, this is the word, Council for Inclusive Capitalism with the Vatican. So whenever you see something that just sounds so pretty, take every word and just turn it upside down. So I will put it at the wealthiest trying to further divide, destroy capitalism along with the Pope's help would be my description for that title. It says a historic new partnership between some of the world's largest investment and business leaders and the Vatican launched today. It signifies the urgency of joining moral and market imperative to reform capitalism into a powerful force for the good of humanity. Oh, it isn't that sweet. The Guardians of Inclusive Capitalism is the name of the core group. These leaders represent more than 10.5 trillion in assets under management, companies with over 2.1 trillion of market capitalization, and 200 million workers in over 163 countries. So this right here, this entity is basically the bedrock for the labor market, as well as probably the biggest corporations on the equity markets as well. So give an idea what's going on. Here's the individuals here. We got all these names here. We got the president CEO of MasterCard, Elias CE, Salesforce. We got DuPont. We got, what else we got here? All type Prime Minister, United States, whatever. We got a lot of top-notch individuals here. We got the Rothschild. So once you see Lady Lynn Forrester Rothschild, you know what's going on here. This is a generational family situation. We got Merck and Company. We got the CalPERS. So my California people, you got the CEO of the CalPERS, Marcy Frost, in on this group as well. So once again, I think if I'm not mistaken, the CalPERS pension is probably the biggest. I don't think Japan is the biggest pension in the world. I think Japan. So CalPERS probably might be the second biggest pension fund. And of course, where those pension, where they put some of those funds is remaining probably into this organization. So yeah. And so just more people here, state of California, once again, like while we have, people from California. So Johnson and Johnson. So here you go. You got a lot of people in here. The Rockefeller Foundation, the president, Rajiv Shah, the Rockefeller Foundation. So here you go. We got all these people, the guardians for inclusive capitalism. They're trying to include you into capitalism. What exactly does this mean? So here's a statement of the guiding principles for the inclusive capitalism. It says capitalism has delivered and delivered wealth and prosperity to billions of people around the world. However, we recognize that capitalism must evolve to promote a more sustainable, trusted, equitable, and inclusive system that works for everyone. Wow, I just feel all warm and fuzzy. I'm excited for this. All right. It says each of us working together and with others will find the best approaches for our institutions, industries, and governments that can foster inclusion. And so you take everything I just read and you think of the very worst, that all these people with power, money, and greed backed by Satan himself, what type of demonic things they're going to try to do to the human population. Just take it there. Here's the vision, values, they talk about some trust, fair, responsible, dynamic, sustainable. Okay, so why do I say all this stuff? Because outside of the Great Reset agenda by the World Economic Forum, it looks like we have some other players in the game. These players here happen to be the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Calpers, CEO, a lot of California, people, and MasterCard, Visa, so you name it. All the biggest players in the financial realm, it looks like, employing more than 200 million people in 163 countries worldwide. These people are coming together to try to include you and I into a more equitable system of where we can actually earn more wages and all that stuff like that. But once again, at this point, everybody knows the real problems. Governments and central banks. You remove them or lessen their ability to monopolize the game and to control and write the rules and enforce it for those that work hard, but let those who utilize the system for what it's designed to be used for, which is, the banking sector, prosper and win when nobody goes to jail. You can never have inclusiveness. You can never have true capitalism. And on top of that, ultimately speaking, the way capitalism as we've known it was formed, it requires capital. And as of right now, we're running on pure fumes, debt fumes at that. So there is no more capital. So the only thing is available is possibly credit at best. And even that's becoming problematic for the bank. So here you have a group of individuals. I'm not sure if this is in sync with, Klaus, Schwab and the World Economic Forum. Have they met up before? Because you got the Pope in on this. So we got the Pope calling shots. And once again, I didn't know the Pope was willing to step out of the Vatican and get involved in finance and the monetary system. But it looks like he's, he's working for who he works for. We all know who that is. It's not Jesus Christ, but that's my opinion. But anyway, okay, let's keep it moving, man. I got a couple more articles here, and then I'm gonna turn it over to you guys and let you guys share your thoughts. Okay, keep moving. And here's something that I'm probably a day late with, but I thought it was worthwhile. And so as everything continues to unfold, the FDA announced today that in the next day or so, or next couple of days or so, they will have their final conclusion as to whether or not the vaccines will be safe to roll out. And they're trying to build up this anticipation as like, ooh, will it be accepted? Ooh, will it not? We all know they're in bed with the whole agenda, so it has to be rolled out. But this information here from our neighbors up north, it says Chief Medical Officer says Canadians who refuse vaccine won't have freedom to move around. And so once again, if it's happening in Canada, damn well it's going to happen here in the U.S. if it's not already in certain areas more than others. And then here's actually the video here where it's a 1:24 clip where this gentleman, the finance minister guy, is actually saying that, he can't force people to take vaccines, but he can make your life very uncomfortable in the meantime by restricting what you can do, similar to how it is with our children when they go to school. You can't go to school unless you have unless your immunity papers and vaccines are all complete for your child. So similar to how it's going to be for adults. You won't be able to do your normal life and have fun the way you usually do. So eventually, if you want to be included, you better go ahead and get it. So that's kind of what he was saying in this little video here. And, for those that have interest, I'll put this in the chat and let you guys listen to it further. If you're interested, it's on you. And Lance, I see an article here. It says 2 participants of the vaccine trial died. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. So we got a little news brief here from Mr. Lance. Let me go ahead and pull that up. because I'm curious to see. It said FDA says, what was that again? We got some fresh breaking news here. Says 2 participants from Pfizer. Says, let me grab this article here. 2 participants from Pfizer. I'm spelling it wrong. Give me 1 second, people. All right, let's see if this article pops up. Zero Head. Okay, so here's something. So here's an article, not from Zero Heads, but you guys get the hang of it. So this, to me, is breaking news. Perhaps it's to you guys as well. And so here, this is from the Jerusalem Post. FDA announces deaths of 2 Pfizer vaccine trial participants. So one of the deceased was reportedly immunocompromised. Documents released ahead of an emergency approval meeting on Thursday's show. So once again, FDA. So if the FDA was really about the best interest of the American people and the rest of the world, they would literally put this thing on pause. Say, hey, just out of precaution, take it back to the drawing boards. Let's get this worked on. But here's the thing. Even if they did that, even if they decide to pump the brakes a little bit, tell Pfizer to go back and do some stuff differently, you know damn well they're not going to do it, because Pfizer already got warehouses across this country already in negative 70 degree temperature waiting to be used. So Pfizer will say, due to the recent data, we're going to go back and assess and relook at this or whatever. And then, of course, next week, they're going to say, we've done it. We've got it. And those same hundreds of millions of vials scattered across the country are still going to be pumped out there. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Okay. So, Lance, I appreciate you for sharing that. So actually, let me jump into something else that I wanted to share. And I actually just share this on the Rethinking a Dollar Instagram page. And so I'll show this to you guys. So, for those that are not, if you're on Instagram, make sure you go rethinkingadollar.com or Rethinking a Dollar. Definitely connect with us over there. We got about 4,500 over there strong. But here's something I wanted to bring to your attention that came across. And apparently, I'm not sure, I didn't get a chance to validate this, but it sounds about right. So here is something from the FDA that I took a screenshot from somebody's video, but it says here, FDA safety surveillance of the COVID-19 vaccines draft working list of possible adverse events outcome. So if you look at this list here, there's all types of things that I don't even know what the hell they are. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I don't really know what most of this stuff. I know stroke, and of course I know what death means, but thrombocytopenia, and yeah. So I'm not going to embarrass myself for trying to pronounce some of these words here. But just the fact I can't pronounce them lets me know that there's stuff that I definitely don't want to come across. So I had assumed that you guys might feel the same way. And it says, so it's pregnancy and birth outcomes. Okay, so just all this stuff, even if this is legitimate or this is some, alternative media person just put this list together. When you see articles with Pfizer people passing away, it's nothing to play with, because it's not meant to solve anything. It's meant to further a global agenda. So once we can try to get more people to wake up to that reality, then it'll make it easier for people to accept the fact that this is more than this is more than just about a health situation. And then here's something else I thought was interesting. So it says Biden campaign becomes first in history to raise $1 billion from donors. And then I said, all those donors expect a repayment in favors during the Build Back Better era. So that's a lot of currency for someone who doesn't really, for most part, leave his basement. It says, what happens to the remainder of those funds after Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and all the voter fraud groups are paid off? So does he get to keep those funds, or do he have to give those back? So, who knows? But anyway, man, this is what is happening in the news. I got more articles, but I'm going to stop ranting because, I can go on forever, and I want to make sure I include you guys. So let's talk, man. What do you guys have in mind? Let's get this party started a little bit. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on everything I've touched on. And TB says, why take something that is 95% cure when if you catch it, you have a 99.9% survival rate? This page is for the FDA slideshow. Okay, Marine, I appreciate that. So assuming and hoping it was correct, even if it wasn't, based upon all the adverse reactions on our page that I can't pronounce, I would take it as for being real anyway. So that's what it is. But for those who just coming into the chat, I laid out pretty much why the case for the FTC, 48 attorney generals deciding to bring the hammer down, or portray that they're bringing the hammer down on Facebook, it's because of the fact that they have 3 apps with the access to 3 digital wallets that you can reach, far more people a lot sooner than any central bank digital currency could ever reach, issued by the Federal Reserve or the Euro or anybody else. And it would definitely cause some problems for the control of this narrative of allowing as much pain to build up in the public with all these, unemployment drama, moratoriums, rent, all that stuff just happening. They need more time to let this thing really, really, really take its effects on the people. So that's what it is, man. That's what it is in a nutshell. So let's open up the phone line. Let's talk. Let me hear what's on your mind. Feel free to chime in on any of these events here, and we can make this work, man. So I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on that. So let me open up my phone line so I can hear from anybody who want to either chime in on these thoughts here, or if there's any other stories that's worthy of touching on, feel free to let me know. I'm always curious to find out what's going on, and we can keep it moving. Or highlight Rethinking the Dollar in the chat, and we can get your question or thoughts shared with the community. Adam says, Mike, what about the United States? What about the United States of America ceasing to exist as a business? Okay, so I remember I've been trying to do my homework on understanding the history from the other side that we were not taught as far as the U.S. being incorporated, I think after 1873 or something like that. And so we're not really a republic anymore. We're a corporation, and, a lot of the UCC, Universal Commercial Code. Yeah, all that stuff being the foundation of what's really going on through maritime law. Okay, that's real, no doubt. I've witnessed it firsthand as to how the court system is very fraudulent. I was, in a courtroom one time, and I heard someone lay out their whole case on being sovereign, and the judge or the magistrate honored it all. So I knew it was real. So that's the real deal. And so as far as existing as a business, I don't know where to go with that one. Like, I don't know how this plays out. My ultimate plan as to how this all unwinds is that it's the transition phase for China to take over the world global powers monetarily, as well as the political layout by exporting communism in a sense and removing. Because I think as of now, the United States of America is the last country standing that has any resemblance of a democracy, even though that's not really, that's what we were told, we were given, but really we're supposed to be under a republic where we the people are the ones that are supposed to call the shots. But even with that being gone, the democracy is the best thing that man has come up with as of today. But we're on the last leg of that, given this political election right here. This election here, in my personal opinion, will be the last one of its kind. So what happens to the U.S. heading into 2024? Only God knows, ultimately, as well as the evil ones that's trying to orchestrate this agenda. So my personal opinion is, no matter how all this plays out, according to the Bible, we're going to a one world government. So what it looks like, who leads it, we got, Gog, Magog, of course, supposed to be great powers. That's Russia and China. So that seems like it's still in place. So where the U.S. stands exactly, I don't know. But let's talk. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from South Texas on the Mexican border.
South Texas on the Mexican border. How's things down in that neck of the woods, my friend? What's up with the wall down there?
I don't know. We didn't see too much progress on that one.
Yeah. What's on your mind tonight, my friend?
Well, what I was thinking about is taking the vaccine and, going back to just trying to be logical about, vaccines are usually a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to dispel that, the virus isn't real, because we've been hit fairly hard in my community, in my area.
Yeah.
Where at the beginning I was kind of like, who knows somebody that's sick? You know what I mean? And then I'm like, oh yeah, the policeman at my wife's school, that she's the RN there, he's in the hospital and can't breathe, so it's real.
Yeah.
And then when we move past that, though, why are they going to rush it out? Like I'd be awful scared taking this vaccine in the first year, even, you know what I'm saying? Because I'd like to kind of let the other guinea pigs go before me, and then I'll think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, that's just my 2 cents, man. As I'm saying is, I think we really need to all spend a lot of time really thinking about the pros and possibly the cons of taking this thing. And what I'm really concerned, though, is the government going to be telling me I need a card to go to my grocery store and buy groceries? Or surely at work, my wife, like I said, she's an RN, and I know they'll probably force her to take it. And we're thinking how we can get out of that, you know?
Yeah.
At least in the original, or not original, but in the first couple of phases, because she's the first people that they'll put in her arm, because she is an RN, and they're at the school system now, and deals with the kids, and has to send them home for COVID. So, like I said, I have seen a lot of firsthand experience that the COVID virus is very real.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just very fishy how this whole year kind of went. And we were all thinking, or at least a lot of us that are in the know, were thinking that the economy was going down well before March. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everything kind of just seemed to come together to be the perfect storm. And now let's see what happens next. But anyway, from South Texas, Mike, I'm just checking in. Take care.
Appreciate you, my man. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, so that's an interesting perspective, and that's one of the things where there's definitely something present that is causing issues for people's health outside of the flu. And so I see Tony, you mentioned about asking about did the cop take the test, and so I was very leery of the test when they initially rolled out, because there was several different types of tests available, but yet the CDC was like, hold on, wait. No tests are allowed until we get ours out there first. I'm thinking like, that test actually going to be one passing that stuff out. And so outside of the test, which could be, so here's the thing. We ultimately, I think no one's except for the ones that, put it out there. So we all could probably agree that there's something put out there, whatever we're experiencing, whatever the people are experiencing, and it's causing health issues for some, it's not a naturally occurring event. Whatever it was, we all can agree was doctored up and primed for this current season that we're in. And so the ultimate question is, how was it actually administered into the public? I always suspected the tests themselves, because we had to wait for them from this primary source, could have been another way of getting it into our country. Then I heard one doctor, I think it was Dr. Oz, if I'm not mistaken, when he was on Fox. Was it Fox? Yeah, I think he was on Fox. I think it was being interviewed by one of the young ladies. I forgot her name. But I replayed it over and over again. It's like a 30-second clip. She asked him about, this is early, like April, May, maybe. She's asking him about all this stuff like this. And Dr. Oz literally said, the people who actually have a flu shot, the people who got the most recent flu shot, they're the ones that are taking ill the fastest, and they're suffering the most, or something like that. So I forgot exactly how he said it, but he pointed at the flu shot is the reason why people are experiencing some of the most severe side effects from whatever it is out there. And immediately she's like, hold on. She's like, that's not true. That's not true. She, put her earpiece in, and you heard one of the, people behind the scenes said, we got to move on. We got to move on. We got to move on. I'm like, damn, that was quick. And then, he was starting to say his next word, and next thing you know, they got rid of him. And I'm like, damn, it was like that. So when I heard him mention that, I'm like, whoa, that's Dr. Oz. Like, he's a doctor that's already, he's a mainstream media guy at that. So the fact that he came out saying the flu shots could be the primary trigger or something like that, I'm like, damn, that's interesting. So once again, we, of course, in time, and you always look back, just like when 9/11, you look back 10 years after the fact, all the evidence was laid out, all the universal studies and engineers and societies and groups came together and basically said that that's not a natural occurrence. Those buildings didn't fall by themselves. God forbid it gets to the point where down the line we say, man, once again, because no one has been talking about what's going on in China. Nobody seems to care about China. Even Trump has laid up on the Wuhan virus, or whatever he calls it. So once again, yeah, this is where we at, man. It says, why is it a snake on the medical symbol? What's the $1 million question? Twin turbo. So I of course, when you go far left field, you get some people who lay out some interesting reasons as to the snake and Satan, and I think a lot of the deep society. I mean, stuff goes deep, man. It goes a lot deeper than I'm even well versed in. But of course, ultimately, it boils down to Satan, man. Like we got an enemy, people. Whether you believe or not, we got an enemy against humanity. The fact that we're created in the image and likeness of God. That's right there. It puts a mark on your back. You know what I'm saying? And God forbid you believe in Jesus Christ, and on top of that, you marked with a bullseye on your back. So yeah. Anyway, this says, what about the plane that hit the Pentagon, then disintegrated to dust? Yeah, if that was even the case. Like, I remember all that, but I don't recall seeing no plane. I don't think so. I get you on that one. So yeah, all those things. And then last week I had Charlie Robinson talking about, referring Building 7 and whatnot. And you guys know how it goes, man. Crypto King says, who did the CDC numbers of American deaths from 2017, 18, 19, all 2.8 million, but 2020 is just 2.6. Where is the pandemic? Yeah, it's in the fact that the science, the scientists and the experts, those two groups of individuals, they've been compromised. They are not for America. They are not for humanity. Flat out. Like, as more of this stuff goes on, I'm witnessing how a lot of physicians, doctors are basically abandoning their oath to serve and to protect their patients as well as the people they give care to by even going along with this. Like, I think it is your responsibility if you're in the medical field to dig deep to find out the truth and not rely upon leading epidemiologists or leading viral surgeons and the leading experts, because they've been compromised. And here we go. Here's something else. Let me see, where's it at? I didn't get it up, but there's a video I watched earlier where I think it was like a general or something like that. He was saying that when it's time for that jab to be done, the hospitals, they'll be heavily compensated for the whole process to be complete with the first and the second jab, but they'll get more funds for making sure they finish the deal with the second jab. And so think about this. Hospitals are now, just like it was with the testing, as well as, the pronunciation of COVID on the death certificates, the more they had, the more compensation they received, I believe. And so same things about to be rolled over. Think about the fact that healthcare industry or the government or whoever pays for all that incentivizes physicians and hospitals in order to make money, whether private or public, to make funds by going along with this. And there you go. The idea of having good medicine or true health care is no longer health care. They trying to get paid, not protect your health and your well-being. So this whole system is already flawed and it's jacked up, so it's not much we can really do for ourselves other than collectively come together and sharing truth. As I said before, my 3 things: call out a lie when you see it, shine light on it with the truth, and resist the devil. And the devil is in the details of all this stuff going on, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm ranting too much. Forgive me. I apologize, because I can get off the hinges with this. But anyway, I'm curious to hear from you guys. I missed all types of calls, ranting, man. Forgive me, man. Keep calling me. I get you on here. I apologize. I just get carried away sometimes. This stuff just gets me excited. That's all. Praise be to the Lord. Anyway, Diamond Heart says they weed out all the doctors who didn't go along with this pandemic by revoking their license. High Impact TV did a video about it. You should check it out. I will do so. Appreciate you for sharing that. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike, it's Sean from New York.
Sean from New York. My man, give me some good news out of New York, my friend. What's on your mind?
Well, the CBDC is already here. It's been here for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
We got the coin called USDC. That's made by Circle.
Yeah.
Circle's owned by Goldman Sachs.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Mnuchin's from Goldman Sachs. The guy at the Federal Reserve, he's from Goldman Sachs.
Mm-hmm.
Wilbur Ross, he's from Goldman Sachs. So it's already here. And in January, that's getting added on to Stellar Lumens. So USDC is going to run on Algorand, Stellar Lumens, and Ethereum,
Mm-hmm.
Effective January 1st.
Yeah.
And they've already stopped people from doing transactions with that already.
Oh, so
they've locked up wallets like that.
So doing transactions, where exactly? On Square or what?
So they freeze the wallet, so you can't do anything until they say it's not fraudulent anymore afterwards.
Interesting. So what wallet are you referring to that they froze up or stopped? Because I'm not familiar with it.
Just the blockchain itself. You can freeze the money.
Okay. So I remember hearing about and actually saw today or yesterday. The oldest bank in Europe, which is a German bank, I think, announced their own digital coin on Stellar Network as well. I think as of this week or something like that. So we already have institutions as well. So Stellar, I've mentioned this last week on a crypto show that I had with the fellas, that Stellar has been marked as a banker's coin above and beyond XRP, I think. So a lot of XRP people might not be too happy with that, but Stellar might be that one. So I do appreciate you for sharing that.
Yeah, Stellar is going to be what the CBDCs are on.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking. The CEO was talking to the United Nations like 2 weeks ago. So
yeah,
and like Ripple XRP is going to be for derivatives. It's going to be kind of like the stock exchanges are going to switch over to basically that.
Yeah.
So everything is like perfectly clear.
Yeah.
And then one other thing, if people are wondering where this where the virus is coming from, they should go and look at their routers at their houses and see what kind of technology is at their houses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying this because I got sick for 10 weeks in February, and the symptoms that I have match with some of the conspiracy theory things that people say. I was sick for 10 weeks. I had blisters on the outside of my head, cold sores in my mouth, couldn't breathe. But after looking at things afterwards, the type of router in my house has a certain kind of technology that a lot of people are very nervous about.
Right.
So,
hey, appreciate you, my man. Thanks for calling and sharing that insight. Thanks.
Got it. Have a good one.
Yep, you too. Good stuff, man. And speaking of which, I'm glad he called because it reminded me of something that I wanted to share that I forgot to share. Let me pull something up. So last night, I think it was you, Crypto King. I think you tagged me and all the other gentlemen with that video from a doctor. And I believe I shared it or commented on it. So there's a video. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Did I share it? No, I did not. Give me 1 sec. Let me find this video here because I actually attempted to watch the full. Shebang. Here we go. So I'll pull this on the screen here. So here's something that I'll put in the chat as well for those that are interested. But this here is a short clip, and I think this is very interesting and worth your time. And so this doctor here who's talking, it's a 2-minute clip. It has over 108,000 views. And within this short little 2-minute clip, he lays out. So Dr. Craig Venter, as you guys see on the screen here, he created something called, I think, Casper. And it's a technology that goes down to the very cells. And ultimately what he's saying is here that the technology has existed since the late 2012. So I remember talking about how, I think it was according to the Rockefeller paper, about 4 or 5 different possible scenarios of what we can see for our future. One was a pandemic. The other one was weather or something like that. But anyway, so we have the health scare, the pandemics, which was told to us in the Rockefeller paper. So, but maybe the technology was not available then, but now it is to do exactly what this gentleman is describing here. But basically what he's going through is how the technology exists already. And so as of 2009, 2013, and it says designer receptors exclusively activated by designer drugs. So he's basically talking about how the technology is so small that they can inject into your body and do all types of things and activate it whenever they want for whatever reason. So of course the person here talking about mRNA, AIG, 5G, whatever. But this video here is something you guys I would encourage you to see. And so here is the full video on YouTube here. So I'll put this in the chat here. So people who might be interested in watching it, you can get the full shebang because it does a good job of basically talking about the science behind, I think it's called Casper, which is the technology that they can control any form of fashion, however they want. And just that 2-minute clip it's mind-blowing. I tell you, it's stuff to make you think. And after you watch stuff like that, where you hear about the science is already available, where they can put microscopic things in your body and turn it on, they can have it go wherever they want to go. And even in that video there, he was talking about how they have the technology to implant bacteria that has been infused with certain types of images and pictures and memories that they want the bacteria to carry into your body, and they can put it anywhere to where they can make you project the same images. So when you think about the technology that's out there and it's available, that's the first thing I think about with this whole vaccination stuff. Like, if it's already done, it's technically old. If this was 2010, 12, 13, they're talking about this. So the stuff they've done now is probably even 10 times better than what it was done back then for the worst of humanity, for all of us in a sense. And so my question is, if these vaccines are so effective, why do you need two? What's the difference between the first one and the second one? Why a 21-day waiting period? These are all things that, it's not getting much airplay, but it's well worth our time. So, nanotechnology, Philman, appreciate that. So that stuff is all there. CRISPR, who says that, edit your genetics. There you go, Patrick. So people are up on game on this. So it's out there, but you got to go find it for yourself. But bioluminescence, okay, Debo, I see what you're talking about with that one. Okay, so Mike, please get Yusuf Ale. Yusuf Ale. Okay, I will. So did I reach out to him? I don't think I have. Barley Broker, but I remember I looked him up, so I am familiar with it, and I will actually make a note now to do that. Let me put that here so I can all right, so high frequency radio. So I will try to reach out to him and get him on, and we can chit chat a little bit. All right, people, we're approaching the hour point, and today was a well laid out discussion about the Facebook. And so for those that may have came in late, go watch the first 20 minutes. You see all the information shared about how, Facebook got out of pocket. They didn't play it along with the agenda, apparently. And so Federal Reserve, i.e. Federal Reserve, of course, probably told the government, hey, you guys got to put a clamp on this. This is not right. This is not working. Or this could be more noise, more distractions heading into 2021 to cause more chaos. They also could be a part of their agenda. So who knows, but we will find out, people. But other than that, stay prayed up and get your weight up and everything in between. And also don't forget tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a fun day. I'm excited to try to figure out how to put together a live auction online, but it should be a good time. So I'm looking forward to having you guys come out. And I told Mike to open up the treasure chest, man. Open up the treasure chest and show the world what you got, and make it available for the people to bid on, to buy, and get shipped to their house. So Mike Cabron is a good guy, does my RTD rounds, and so a guy that does good work. So anyway, people, it has been great hanging out. See you guys tomorrow, and we will be at it again. As also, for those that are not familiar, the RTD Get Your Weight Up round was produced by MK Bars, and of course, for those that are out there that supported the channel and got your weight up with these items here, these rare art pieces, I call them. Definitely you will be blessed, my friends. But anyway, be blessed, be safe. If any information you guys need, all the interviews, free videos, all the stuff down there is beneath, free ebooks, you name it. And if you guys want to support the channel, give it that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up button for me, show your love. And if you want to take it a step further to be a true supporter, and monetarily, feel free to become a Patreon. Any amount is never too little. So appreciate you guys, my friends. Be blessed, be safe. And so there will be some gold, but there won't be any gold chains, TB. So Barley Broker, there won't be any gold chains, I don't think, but there will be some gold. So you'll have some options if you guys are interested. So come ready to bid, people. Hope you guys have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow, Lord willing. Peace. Hey there, sorry for this interruption, but I wanted to bring something to your attention. If you've been enjoying this live stream, why don't you partner with me and be a support to the channel via Patreon membership for just a minimum of $5 a month. All you have to do is scroll down beneath this video here, click the Patreon link, then consider donating as little as $5 a month towards the channel. A little bit of crumbs can go a long way, and I appreciate your support. Now, let's get back to this live stream.